Welcome back, everyone, to the 6th round of Challenger League. We're in Canada at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. And I'm Figo. I don't usually commentate this one, but current commentator Corvid is just out today, so I'm filling in for him. So hope you guys are okay with that. We're just going to watch qualifying here. But yeah, I mean, about the track, it's a quite a tough track to make overtakes on. So we're going to see a lot of either aggressive fighting or calculated overtakes through certain corners. It really depends on the drivers themselves here. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we're going to see provisional pole was actually Phantom with a 25.95 in that Raikar car. Matima, the current championship leader, following behind him as well. So we'll see what kind of laps they can set for their second lap. Most of the drivers wait until the third lap to really give it their all. We'll see how they improve. Washed Flicks is surprisingly not washed. He's in second, 26.08. So we'll see how he can improve on that one. Spectator Mike going around the chicane. We'll see his lap. See if he can improve. See if anyone can beat Phantomy's 25.95. He sucks price lap. Oh, Mike just misses out, but it's Tomatoes who manages to get pole. So here are your qualifying results. In pole position is Tomatoes in the Cento Corse car with a 25.93, beating the AL qualifying result by only 0.02 seconds. And in P2 is Phantom 29 in the right car, followed by his own teammate Mike, separated by very little. And you have in 4th Washed Flicks in the Heritage Performance, and in 5th is Matamar in the Cento Corse Championship leader. Going to be a little bit disappointed with that kind of qualifying. We'll see where he can improve. Flicks and Matamar also tying on that result, so we'll see how the game sorts the positions out there. 6th is Jeruni in the HRT Push Pro, and then 7th is Vinci, who was unable to beat his qualifying time in AL. In 8th was Jonathan in the Volca Yoka, 26.18, and in 9th is Mr. Kimster in the HRT Push Pro. In 10th was F186 with the Nordic Blizzard team, going back to their Spanish livery for interesting time to pull out again. 11th is Eurist in the Wildcat. 12th is Ethan in the Heritage Performance. 13th is Mr. Bubbles in the VPT. 14th is Weblu who's made a little comeback, I think. It might be his first his return to CL. And then 15th is Sebas in the Nordic. And then 16th and 17th, Mazal Motorsport's own X6 and Mr. Crunk to round off the grid. Now we're on the grid, ready to start. F186 taking the sprint pole to qualifying 10th. 5 red lights and away we go. F186 retains the lead going into the first corner. It's going to be a tough few corners. It's Jonathan Vinci and Mr. Kimster off the track. Matamar gets through cleanly. Jeruni flicks Phantomy as well. It's a huge fight down in the order. This track not promoting the most cleanest of racing. See, Mr. Kimster goes off the track. Eurist and Tomatoes really struggling their way around that hairpin. Mr. Bubbles going through. And then you have a 3-wide battle. Oh, yeah, very tough. Matamar finds his way into the lead of the race with Jeruni in second and F186 in third. Really gets a little bit stuck on that chicane. Mike, Vinci, and Flicks. Jonathan's actually taken advantage of Flicks' mistake, and he's actually managed to push his way into 5th, or maybe a little bit behind now. And it's Matty and Jeruni at this point for the race lead. Just a few tenths that separate them. Matty made a mistake. His entry back onto the track a little bit questionable. Jeruni's through anyway. Mike, F186, Flicks, Phantomy, Jonathan and Vinci. Your top 8, and Vinci makes a mistake to make it a top 7 rather. Tomatoes in 9th, starting from 10th. Not the greatest, but not too bad. Mr. Crunk in 10th place. Mr. Kimster, Eurist, Bubbles and an X6 and Ethan fighting it out. Could be another incident if they don't make it too cleanly. Make it through cleanly. And then Sebas at the back there making a mistake. X610. Like trying to get through Mr. Crunk as well. Yeah. Gonna go back to the race leaders. There's Matty and Jaruni, but they've actually been caught up a little bit by Flix. But Mike's gonna try and make the overtake. He's just killed his own teammate, so maybe not the best strategic decision. Phantomy finds himself in 7th, 8th, and now 9th as the other drivers continue to pass him. We're gonna look into that incident from Mike as well after the race to see if that should be penalised. Washed Flix in 4th. Clearly not washed because he's in P4, very solid position. F186. One of the newer drivers on the grid, clinging on to 5th, with Jonathan just falling back there. And Tomato is kind of isolated in his own realm. Phantomy and Vinci fighting out for that 9th position. Vinci just not showing the strength that he had in JL. You know, in this race today, goes quite wide, hits the wall. Really struggling to control the car in the wet. Ethan trying to defend his position from X6. X6 going to make the dive. He's going to get through. Mr. Kimster has the better run on Ethan as well and has the slipstream too. He's going to pass. And so Ethan's lost 2 positions now. Mr. Kimster and X610 going for a move. Vinci gets pushed off by Phantomy and an X6 pushes Vinci off. Just a lot of unclean racing, but now the top pack is the top 5 fighting for the win and the podiums. It's Mike currently leading the race, has to be careful for Matamar as his trailer might push him off, but he's through. Matty, Mike, side by side through to the first corner, struggling around the second, but it's Matamar who's managed to come out ahead right now. Flix trying to push his way through. It's a little lag rocket between Matty and Mike, but no incidents there. Flix pushed off a little bit. Does he still have the slip? Yes, he does. F186 making a mistake. Jaruni goes past. Jaruni's also made a mistake, so now it's just the top 3. Mike, Matty, and Flix. Flix waiting, biding his time. Slips past Mike. And yeah, it's just going to be a patient fight now. Mike just going to have to wait, sit there and just wait for the moment to strike. But he pushes Flix off. Very aggressive, very impatient. Might cost him. And Jaruni and F186 in 4th and 5th, trying to chase them. Middle pack. They've kind of separated themselves out at this point, not too much, but it's a 4-way battle. X610, Kimster, Ethan, Mr. Bubbles. X6 really pushing the boundaries again of what's legal with all of his moves. Mr. Kimster pushes off Ethan by pushing X6 off. So definitely these guys have to be very careful with their trailers. Very prominent. I'm going to go back to the lead. Matamar in the lead now. Mike in 2nd. Has he got the slip? No, he doesn't. Yeah. It's going to be a little frustrating to lose the slip there. Flick's going to go for the move, but he's going to back out of it. He's going to let Mike get the slip for both of their, you know, kind of advantages. Jaruni and F186 having caught up, but F186 off the track once again. Mike pushes off Jaruni in that fight, and now it's Flix. He has the pace. Will Mike fight him, or will they try and work together to cling on to Matty and try and take back 1st place? You know, it's really, I think, yeah, I mean, looking at the pace, Flix is, I think, a little bit faster than Matty, but having Mike, you know, breathing down your neck, very, very, you know, very close, the proximity, maybe just challenging Flix a little bit, but yeah, Mike is through, actually. Flix is going to pull out of that one, and Matamar now into, well, the lead. He's still in the lead with Mike going into 2nd, but Flix makes the move to push into 2nd. Jaruni and F186 still fighting for that 4th place. With the rest, it's the 6th to 9th. Phantomy, Jonathan, Tomatoes, and Vinci. Vinci's kind of losing out there. Then you have the kind of other pack, X6, Mr. Kimster, Bubbles, Eurist. So all these guys kind of spreading out at this point. But it's the fight for the win that we're watching now. It's Flix in the lead right now. He's going to break quite early to try and defend that. Matamar, he's going to try and find the move, any kind of move. Going through the chicane, he clips the grass. It's going to cost him. Matty is going to have the advantage going into the... But he's gone into the grass. These drivers not willing to give up the positions. It's Matty now in the lead. Really cutting it close. Mike gets pushed off there, but it's Matty who's going to take the sprint win. Mike in third, Jeruni in fourth, F186 in fifth, Phantomy in sixth, Jonathan, Tomatoes, Vinci, Kimster, Bubbles, X-Extend, Webley, Urist, Ethan, Mr. Crunk, and Sebas. Urist with a little bit of colourful language there on the broadcast. That was a sprint race. Matamar took the win. Kind of final corner there, made a mistake. Maybe he had an illegal, very, very dodgy entry to try and get himself back into the fight. Threw himself in front of Mike. He did get an advantage out of it, so we will be checking. Flicks in second, 14 seconds behind, and Mike kind of pushed off in that altercation, but I thought I wanted to race it to get a check. Very unlucky in the final chicane. Fourth is Chiruni, the HRT, and fifth, F186. Sixth is Phantomy, seventh is Jonathan, eighth is Tomatoes, and ninth is Vinci, 10th is Mr. Kimster, who takes the fastest lap, 26.67. 11th is Mr. Bubbles, and then 12th is X6, 13th is Webley, 14th is Eurist, 15th is Ethan, 16th is Mr. Crunk, and in 17th, to round off the grid, is Sebas in that red Nordic Blizzard. And now we're ready for the feature race in the dry. Tomatoes on pole. Can he benefit? 5 red lights and away we go. Tomatoes cutting into the inside to defend his first, but Phantomy tries to make the move. He doesn't quite make it happen. Flicks and Matty going side by side. Flicks is going to pull out of that one. Phantomy makes a mistake, falls to third. Vinci, Jeruni, Mike, Mr. Kimster, F186 falling down the order as the hairpin proves to be a very, very contentious point for a lot of incidents. But Tomatoes is now in the lead with the Cento Corse 1-2 at the moment. We'll see how that develops. Yeah, I mean, some drivers have gone on the mediums. You have this like middle pack of mediums, so everyone else has chosen the softs. The right decision in my opinion, except for Crunk, who's gone on the hards. Ethan just pushes him off. That is going to be interesting to look over. But yeah, it's a battle for first. Flicks, Vinci, Matimar trying to find a way down the inside. He tries to get through, but it's Flicks who gets ahead. Phantomy right behind him. Jeruni on those mediums. He's going to benefit from just having the newer tyres at the end of this stint. Is he going to pit with the rest of them and get undercut? Or will he just pit at the same time and take his, pit advantage? Phantomy just knocks Jeruni into the grass there with no thought. And yeah, just not the greatest of driving standards here today. Five-way battle for the 6th place, F186, Eurist, Mike, Tomatoes, and Mr. Kimster. Tomatoes finds himself down the order of the grid, starting from pole, now in 8th. Not the greatest result, not the result that he wanted off the start. Look at the back of the grid. There's Jonathan behind Mr. Kimster. Those two mediums runners are going to find themselves at a little bit of a disadvantage. And it's Ethan and Webley going side by side. First corner, Ethan backs out. Takes it quite slow, pushes Mr. Bubbles. Flicks seems to have gone off. I don't quite know what's happened there, but he's lost ground. Tomatoes and Eurist going to go for the dive. Oh, that was a dirty one from Eurist. Very, very much pushing the limits of his car and pushing the track limits as he pushed someone else off the track. Yeah, so Flick's down in 5th now. Kind of out of the fight right now between, for the lead, Phantomy, Matty, Jeruni, and Vinci. What's going to happen through this hairpin? Phantomy's going to stay ahead. No fights here for now. Jeruni again. It's a good idea to go on the mediums. He's definitely going to feel more confident near the end of the stint when his tyres are much more, have much more life in them to the end of the stint. He'll be able to kind of get through this pack, I think. Definitely take advantage of that late mediums speed. Maybe, take the lead of the race from there. Eurist has actually managed to push ahead of Flicks. He's now in 5th, Flicks 6th. Tomatoes in 7th, F186 going to go through. Doesn't quite manage it. F186 going to try and go down the inside. Tomatoes, defends pretty well. He's really looking for the move there, but he's kind of compromised his entry into the chicane, and he's lost out on a position there. Mr. Kimster following him. Tomatoes' tyre is really struggling. Mr. Kimster on the mediums definitely has the advantage. Oh, he tried to go into the pits. He kind of slowed down in the middle. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Most of the softs, you'll see them do 9, maybe to get an undercut, or maybe you see them do 10. The standard kind of length for the softs to go. Fancy Me goes quite deep into that hairpin. Is it time to pit for him? Is he going to stay out? The drivers seemingly... Oh, and Phantom is in. Is he going to get the undercut? I think he will. Vinci, Giruni, Matty fighting for the lead. But they're just all going to slow down, and this might actually hand it to Phantomy. Giruni's pulled away. Can he keep up the pace? Matty and Vinci are going to struggle with the tyre wear. Struggle to keep up with Giruni. Vinci going to trying to go for the move. A little bit of an Right, welcome back everyone after that interruption there. Had an issue with the track, but now we're back on the grid. 30 laps remaining. Yeah, so definitely some drivers paid a little bit of a price there. Some drivers benefited from that one. So yeah, Phantomy in the lead, Matima, Vinci, Giruni, Eurus, Tomatoes, Flix, F186, Jonathan Fruits, Mr. Kimster, it's Mike, X6, Ethan, Bubbles, Crunk, and Weblu. Deux, he's joined in, and Sevas at the back of the grid. Yeah, so Phantomy benefiting pretty massively there, and he's kind of pulled away into the lead. Matty, Jerry, Eurus, and Flix, kind of the top 5, the ones to watch. Who's going to win it? Giruni falls down the order after a little incident. Yeah, and the chicane's very tough, very risky to go through. So yeah, definitely not the cleanest track either, we've seen already from the JL and now in CL. Yeah, Matty's managed to pull away. Is this just going to be another situation where the race is kind of wrapped up and done, as he's just able to pull it away with everyone else? It's the 2 push pros right behind Flix. Flix fighting against his former team there, and the team that he's actually contracted as a reserve for. Makes a mistake on the exit of that corner, lets Giruni through. Eurus is going to also try and find a way through. He's going to get pushed into the grass. Eurus, Mr. Kimster, Mike involved in an incident there. Very unfortunate. But yeah, Giruni, Flix, and Vinci, trying to catch up to Matty. I think the ideal strat is just to slip each other and see if Giruni has the pace. I would take Flix ahead of him. Just because he's the faster one, but we'll see. Giruni has also benefited in the fact that he doesn't have to go on a medium stint. He can go all softs. The 2 compound rule did apply had you started on another compound other than the softs in the original race start. So Giruni is going to have a little bit of comfort in knowing that he'll have the fastest tyres for all 3 stints there. So Matty might actually lose out his lead currently, but Vinci doesn't want to let up. He is trying to fight the current 2 drivers, in those podium positions. Tomatoes trying to make up the gap now, and then Mike, Kimster, and Phantomy. The Rycars finding themselves pretty low in the order. I don't know what happened to Phantomy. Started on pole for this restart. Finds his way into the grass now. Mr. Kimster almost impeded by Phantomy, but he manages to get through. Mr. Bubbles has X610 on his inside. X610 manages to go through. Eurus, a mistake from him. And Jonathan and F186 on the mediums. I don't know why they've... Oh no, never mind. Oh, but Jonathan didn't have to go on the mediums. He, I think, started on the mediums, so maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. F186 on the mediums, struggling to keep up with Jonathan through that corner. Weblu going to try and find his way through. He's on the softs and he knows he has the pace. Will he try and make the dive, or will he let his teammate run? you know, unchallenged. The ones in the pits now, it's Vinci and Tomatoes. Yeah, Matty just has the dominant lead with Girouni in second. 1.8 seconds behind. Flicks just waiting patiently. Slipping. But, yeah. But it's going to be... Oh, Flicks goes into the pits now. He's going to try and undercut Matty. He knows how powerful that undercut truly is. It's Matty who's going to stay out for 10. Girouni on the medium, on the soft, sorry. A little bit of ping on our recording there. Mr. Kimson, the mediums, who's 4 seconds behind. Flicks, who's recently pitted, and Vinci, who's right behind him. Flicks on the faster tyres, and yet Vinci fights him anyway. Definitely, you know, egging him on to try and get him to push for that lead, but he gets pushed into the grass for that. Yeah, Matty and Kimster on those mediums. This is Flicks' chance to catch Matty. Also Vinci's chance to really get on equal ground as well. He gets pushed into the grass though, so maybe not. Girouni on the softs, Tomatoes following right behind him. It's Mike, Phantomy, F186. Most of the drivers choosing now to do their medium stint. And we've seen the soft dominance, you know, back, because those softs of Flicks managed to catch up to Matty really quickly. Flicks going to try and make the overtake. Will Matty defend it, or will he back out? He's going to back out. Flicks is through. And yeah, definitely going to be at Vinci's disadvantage. He originally wanted to slip Flicks to get to Matty, but now he finds himself on the other end of that kind of situation. Now his opponent gets through. Flicks losing out to Matty there though. I don't know if he had been in an incident. Girouni slowly clawing back at that time to gain on Vinci and get the final podium position. This is his time to try and gain on Matty as well. He won last time in Senegal. Can he do it again? A repeat, a double, and stop Matty from getting yet another double, you know, win in a weekend? He is definitely the one to watch to do so. And then the right cars, 7th and 8th, so patiently kind of slip each other, work together, try and make up positions. Kimster on the softs is going to try and make the move anytime now. Makes a mistake. Yeah, going to try the move around the outside. A little bit of an interesting move. Went quite shallow into that corner and yet dived, so yeah, Phantom is swerving on the straight. So. But yeah, we'll go back to the leaders. It's Flicks and Matty who are going to be leading the race right now. Oh, makes a mistake but stays in the slip. Girouni's finally passed Vinci for third. And will he take advantage of this clean air and maybe gain on Flicks and Matty? They're going to be fighting each other now, so he has time to gain as long as Flicks holds him up. So this might be Girouni's chance. So he's definitely going to want to be pushing at 110% here to take advantage of that kind of situation. But Flicks is going to be waiting patiently for his time to come. Flicks now has to do a final medium stint for the race win though. Pushes Matty into the grass a little bit on the chicane. But yeah, Girouni somewhat gaining. But Vinci's going to try and find his way through. Those medium tyres finally in their optimal zone in terms of going against the softs. Yeah, the rest of the drivers kind of settling in their positions for now. No major fights really occurring except for one now. X610 makes the dive on Eurus, doesn't quite make it successfully. Jonathan kind of in the back of that. Eurus in the pits, X6 in the pits. We'll see how the very early undercut will go for them. Quite early, 12 laps on those mediums is quite a brave move. Those, you know, the softs go for 10, And those are like kind of stints that UL drivers can do. And the top of the UL driver bracket can do. So 12 in the mediums is very, very much pushing it for drivers in the CL League, or Challenger League. Matty's clear of the field now. Flix just has to undercut Matty to try and stay within the kind of like lead pack there. Matty's going to come into the pits anytime soon. He's taken the mediums for quite long. Maybe he's actually pushing them for their optimal length. But Flix is going to have the undercut. They're on equal tyres, but Flix is just on the newer ones. Jaruni's pit on the softs, and this might aid Flix in his chances to try and beat Matty. Matty in the pits. Will Flix beat him? Flix is going to go through, but Matty's on the softs. Will Jaruni beat him out of the pits? No, he won't. He stays behind, and that's kind of his chances for that win. Over. Those softs are older, and Matty's pace has just been dominant so far. And very slim chances for Jaruni to really gain back that time. As Flix is going to be looking into his mirrors, knowing that Matimar's slowly gaining. You can see him in the corner of the screen there, actually, as he is going to hunt Flix down, pursue him relentlessly. He is most definitely gaining on him. That gap is just disappearing as the softs show themselves as the dominant tyre once again. Jaruni and Vinci in a little bit of a scuffle there, struggling to find out who's going to go through the chicane first. It's a battle for that podium though, so expect it to be quite feisty. That's Phantomy. Phantomy's in 5th. He's improved from his old 6th position. Mike hasn't though, he's in 7th still. Oh, and Phantomy's kind of a bit lost tomatoes there. Nicento Corse is trying to... Oh, the rivals MBZ not really showing up to today's race. I don't know where they are actually. Neither first drivers here, so that's going to have some pretty major implications on that title fight too. Nicento Corse is just running away with it. Flix lost the slip of Matty, and that seems like the race decided. And now Flix, he's not going to catch Matty. Those softs are going to allow him to run away. So now it's really a question of, can Flix hold on to second? F186 DNFing. What kind of incident was that? We don't know. He's, just some kind of connection issue, or maybe he gave up. We don't know. But yeah. So Jaruni now on the hunt for Flix. 2.2 seconds that divide them. Vinci has lost Jaruni's slip quite a while ago, and now has Phantomy and Tomatoes on him. The Phantomy dominant JL driver who wasn't quite able to get that win last season for the championship. But he's definitely got the skill to fight ahead of these guys, Tomatoes and Vinci. So it's going to be an interesting fight to see who comes out on top here. And you see Sebas, they're lapping Sebas at this point. Just all the way down in 16th. Yeah, you can see Matty 3 seconds clear at this point. Jaruni hasn't really gained that much on Flix, and he's running out of time because those softs will start dying at the end of the stint. So he does have some kind of time limit. Phantomy pulls away. He's in 4th now with Tomatoes behind him and Vinci as well. A lot of lag on Vinci's on board, definitely making it a little bit weird to watch. Mike in 7th. Yeah, Mike and Kimster. Kimster biding his time behind him, waiting for that move. Lap 29, 3 seconds lead. Matty's got this in the bag at this point. No question really about that. The only really remaining question is Jaruni's hunt for Flix and that P2. And it seems quite unlikely. We're going to watch this on this final lap. Flix on the run from Jaruni. Phantomy, Tomatoes and Vinci following behind in their own little pack. And Mike and Kimster separated by a few seconds. 7 seconds divide them to Mr. Bubbles, who has a Eurist who's chasing. Yeah, Matimar crosses the line to win another feature race. Flix finishes second, Girini third, Phantomy in fourth. The Tomatoes is going to an incident there. Vinci in sixth, Kimster in seventh, Mike in eighth, Mr. Bubbles in ninth, Eurist in 10th. What is it going to be? It's going to be Eurist who's going to come ahead there, but the recording disagrees. X6, Jonathan, Weblu, Ethan in 14th, Dex, Sebas. Oh, they don't have time. There's Sebas and then Crunk at the back. So yeah, your race results. It's Matamaj secures yet another win for Cento Corse. Another dominant weekend, taking both wins. There's no questions about it. He is the best driver in the CL division. Can he translate this kind of pace over to UL? We'll find out in an hour maybe. In second is Washed Flix, who showed everyone that he wasn't quite so washed as he said. He's in second, ahead of Jiruni, who's in third to round off the podium. Flix takes the fastest lap alongside Phantomy, Vinci, and Mr. Kimster. Yeah. And they all set the fastest lap of a 25.75, so points all round for them. And fourth is Tomatoes in the Cento Corse, maximising the points for the team. And fifth is Phantomy and Rykar. Sixth is Vinci in the Bobcat. Seventh is Mr. Kimster in the HRT Push Pro car. Eighth is Mike in the Rykar. Ninth is Eurist in his own team, Bobcat. And 10th is Mr. Bubbles for VPT. 11th is X610 for the Mazar Motorsport team. In 12th is Jonathan in the Volpa Yoka, followed by his teammate Weblu. 14th was Ethan for Heritage Performance. 15th was Dex, who missed qualifying and actually he started the original race, but he's managed to join in on this kind of like red flag restart. 16th was Sebas for the Nordic Blizzard. 17th was Mr. Crunk for Mazar, who's actually last on the grid, of the running grid, because F186 DNF'd early in the race.